Pizza Hut and Marvel Comics present Creator's Choice Volume 2, featuring the X-Men and starring Stan Lee, Bob Harris, Fabian Nicieza, and Scott Lobdell.
The thing that I really like most about the relationship between Magneto and Professor Xavier is we've always tried to have villains, or at least very often, who weren't totally bad. Now, to me, Magneto really thought he was a good guy. He felt he's a member of a group that are meant to rule the world, Homo superior as opposed to Homo sapiens. And he felt we're persecuted, we're hounded and hunted. Why shouldn't we strike back? We're superior to the human race. And from his point of view, maybe he was right. And Professor Xavier could always understand that. And he was always trying to reason with him and make him realize it. Right. Now, as far as you guys are concerned...
Well, we've changed all that.
It's not like that. That's what I was about to say. Now, but you've changed it so much. For example...
One of the problems we came up with is that Magneto was becoming too popular or too recognized as a good guy.
Yeah.
So we had to find a way to bring the tension back between them because they were both starting to go too closely together in the same philosophical road.
I guess it's like that old saying about, like, a hero is only as interesting as the villain, and I think, like, Magneto was very interesting in the beginning, but if he got too good, then it made Xavier not, and they didn't have anything to react against.
Well, it's tough when a villain's picking up laundry around the house. Right. So you got to get it back to the villain.
Magneto
destroy city.
And what I think makes Magneto interesting, as Stan said, he's not evil. He has a different point of view. He's not evil per se. So it's tough for the X-Men to fight him all the time because they're not sure if they're doing the right thing or he's doing the right thing. But he's the most popular villain because he is so fascinating. He is a guy who doesn't believe he's evil.
Well, and then there's the whole like Martin Luther King as Professor X. He has a dream of something better, whereas Magneto playing the role of putting the role of like the Malcolm X.
I remember with Professor X when I first proposed doing him. Our publisher said, you can't have the hero, the leader of the group, a guy in a wheelchair, but we did it and it really worked. The readers seemed to love him, and I think he's one of the most unique leaders of any group in comics.
You think at that point the publisher would have been smart enough to say, Stan, anything you want to do is okay by me.
I think the world should be smart enough to say that, but somehow they haven't reached that. Well, don't forget, it also hinges on a lot that's happening in society today. There are so many groups and people that hate other groups and other people, and there's so much there's so much relevancy in the X-Men because of that. And I imagine there could be a character who figures, well, maybe Magneto is right. Maybe we've got to strike back, or we've got to do something to defend ourselves.
Right. So, there's lots of different characters who are trying to go in the same direction, but they're taking different roads to get there.
Right. That's right.
Professor X, Magneto, even Mr. Sinister, Apocalypse, and
Cable.
Cable, of course, is another one who takes it to a different extreme. The team has been one of the most ethnically diverse teams of superhero characters in comics.
But Marvel has always had that attitude. We used to run editorials about bigotry. And I remember things that were written like, it's okay to dislike anybody. You can dislike anybody you want. But you do it because of something about the individual, not because he belongs to a group. You can't dislike a whole group. And we've always been about that. And the X-Men gave us a chance to really do it in concrete form. And it is one of the best-selling, if not the best-selling group of comic books in the world. And I think that has to say something about the fact that people are basically good and they basically agree that prejudice is bad, and they enjoy what it is we're saying. Of course, we're saying it in a very exciting way, but the message is there, and people are getting it, and they're accepting it, and I think that's great.
Oh, it freaks the suits and ties out because we're sending out that subversive message, stop the hate. We're sending that out all the time.
But even there, almost all of our characters are from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and that's great too. And that also, I think, in a subtle way, gives the idea that we're all one people, and we can all work together and live together if we just work at it a little bit.
They have a TV right now.
Hey, I love that title.
It's a good